And happy March 6th. It is 8:30 a.m. Central. I see a few of you have already filtered in. Good morning, DJ Ware. Good morning, Cody with Mac Telecom. Samir. Matthias. Don't know if I pronounced that right. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments, please. And hit that thumbs up button if you can hear what is being said in the live stream. Yep, you can hear me. Perfect. All right. So we'll let a few more people filter in. I do have a couple of things that there's been a couple things on my mind when it comes to YouTube that I really want to talk about. I'm going to talk about that closer to the end. But in the morning, Clarence, Dale, I'm actually going to show off your Cisco equipment. Morning, Barry. So if you saw the thumbnail, and this is my favorite firewall here, and it's a Protectly 4-port. And down in the getting these, there we go. Down in the comments, there's a link over to Protectly where they've got the specials. We're going to be adding a 6-port, but right now this is the 4-port, and I actually painted it. So it has the B standard. Sorry, Cody. It's got the B standard. Somebody says that my mic is distorted a bit. Let me just, I guess I could just move back maybe. What I don't want to do is click a button. I'm using the built-in, maybe I just need to talk softer. How's that? Anyway, back to the Protectly. This is the 4-port. And, Canada is north of the United States, for those of you who don't know where it is. But they use the A standard up there for cabling. And used to be that, like, government in the United States would be A cabling or business. And then, but I think everybody pretty much uses the B standard. I'm going to have to I'm used to, like, really, like, projecting booming into the mic, so I'm going to back off the mic a little bit and see if it's less hot. So now I'm just talking in like a standard voice if you were if you were in the same room. So but anyway, this Protectly, these are one of my favorite hardware appliances because they're tiny, they're fanless, you can completely customize them. I left a link down in the comments. By the way, if you use that link, let me know. But the thing is, like, unless you hire me to do consulting, I don't make any money if you use my link to buy these, just because I think the product is awesome and I think people should get it in their hands, because we have a standard config that we've sent over there to Protectly. We have a standard config that comes preloaded. You plug into the LAN port, you get an IP, username and password, and then it forces you to change the admin password. Root is disabled, so we've also created a guest network so that when you get this, if you do need consulting, there's a couple of things. You either get it and you hit the ground running, or you can call us and we already understand what the config is, and then we can help you, get the extra config that you want done. So, but not only can you run OpenSense, you can run pfSense, Untangle, you can run ESXi on these, you can run Windows on them. So they're just really great, versatile little boxes. So on this side, you can see we got the 4 Ethernet ports and then the power over here. And on the other side, the actual power button, then audio, USB ports, LAN, and then 2 HDMIs. So, or I'm sorry, this is serial port, not a LAN port. But they've also got new 10 gig hardware coming out this year. They just released their new line of 6-port devices with the i7s, and it's great hardware. It really is great hardware, and people say that well, I can go on Alibaba, I can go to all these places, and I can get this. And that's fine, except for now Protectly is offering extended warranties if you ask for it. Plus they have support. Plus, like I said, I'm getting ready to send a 6-port configuration over. And I'm actually going to have a bunch of pre-configs done that you're going to be able to load on these really easy. So like, excuse me, if you've got like open VPN servers that you connect to hide your traffic, if you've got multi-WAN, I'm just going to provide all of those configurations, and you're going to be able to just download them and go. They'll make you change the admin password, root will be disabled, all that good stuff. But definitely, if you're in the market for a firewall, you want something that's versatile, something that's going to be able to run whatever software you want, so that you get the features that you want, you know, whether it's OpenSense, pfSense, Untangle, IPFire, name a distribution, it will likely run on here because these are x86 based, right? Or 64, blah, 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 whatever it is. Just a great versatile piece of hardware. So make sure you check that out. Let's go to the comments real quick. Let's see. Hello, John in Australia. Oh, Patrick is a fellow Canadian there, Cody, and he says he only uses the B standard. So we're going to welcome Patrick to the club. Let's see. Gibby says, oh, wait a minute, there must be something further up. Okay, here we go. Brian Yulin asks, are you doing a home network? GWN 7000 and 7630 or Synology RT 2600 and maybe an MR 2200. So, Brian, that's going to depend on what features you're looking for. If you need to do some like micromanagement of devices, some content filtering and things like that, I'm going to tell you hands down Synology. If your network is, if you need different VLANs and things like that. So here's the thing, right? So the Synology, we can actually go ahead and combine it with another router. So the GWN 7000 is our go-to for voice networks. But you could take that, you could get a Protectly or a Synology, because in my opinion, Synology still hands down has the best parental controls that exist. And what we could do is we could actually put that device in line and put it in transparent mode. That's the Synology router. So it can see all the traffic. So even if you have multiple VLANs, we can put it in line and we can filter. We can do content filtering. We can do, you can set time limits, bandwidth limits, the whole bit if that's in line. So you could combine it. Like I said, with Synology, I don't think the content filtering gets any better because it's not ARP poisoning like the Circle, like the Thing. It is actually inline, touching the packets, not sending those ARP messages to redirect everything through it, which is also why then if you've got multiple VLANs, the Disney Circle, the Thing, those devices do not work because they only work in the network they're in because they're doing like ARP spoofing. All right, back to the comments here. Gibby says, I just replaced Ubiquity with a GWN 7000 and 7630. So the 7630, between Grandstream and Cambium, right now, those are my two go-to Wi-Fi providers. And we're going to talk about that. I've got some videos. I'm just so far behind on videos that it's crazy. And so I've got Wi-Fi 6 APs we're going to talk about. And Wi-Fi 6 isn't really the end-all, be-all. I know people are super excited about it, but there's some caveats with it. And also there's Wi-Fi 6E, so we've got to talk about that. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And like if you're buying APs now, there may not even really be a need to buy a Wi-Fi 6 or a Wi-Fi 6E AP. So it's just something that we're going to have to look at on a case-by-case basis. Bob, I don't know. So real quick, let's see. Mac Telecom Network says, either way you make a cable, you just want to make sure both ends are the same. However, there are very smart people who can explain to you why you should use an actual standard. It's got to do with the twisting of the cables and all that. So use a standard. Either use A or B, but use a standard. And yes, unless you want a crossover cable, make sure they're the same on both ends. Gibby says, was having trouble with VPNs. I had to stop messing around with it because the UNMS controller went down. Can you cluster more than one of these? So yes, you can use, if you're running OpenSense on these or pfSense, they both use CARP, and you can do high availability with these boxes. Good morning, Jason. Yeah, I'm excited you're here and you caught a live stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let's see. Is Synology content filtering better than Untangle? In my opinion, Mike Wilson, Synology has hands down the best content filtering and threat management for a device that's punching in that weight class. Hands down. eGem says, perhaps you could suggest Protectly make a rack-mounted unit. So I have asked about a purely rack-mounted unit. They did not tell me that it was coming. However, if you check out the Willie Howe special, the Willie Howe bundle, you can actually buy the rack that it is for these appliances. So it's really cool, right? So on the bottom of this, let's see if you can see the VESA mount, the VESA mounting holes here. Actually comes with a plate that you mount there, and then their rack is actually it mounts, and then the VESA mount actually screws to their rack appliance. So this will actually, you can rack mount this using their rack appliance. It's actually pretty ingenious. I need to do a video on that. So Brian, you can still do VLANs and have the Synology. So what we typically do when we do that, so whatever, do I have a switch? I do have a switch here. Excuse me. So you've got your switch, your first network switch. So if you've got like a core distribution switch or whatever you want to call it, you've got your first switch in line. And then you've got whatever router you're using. All we're going to do is we're going to put the Synology in between our core router and our first switch. And then that Synology is going to be able to content filter every VLAN, every network that is going through the physical cable between the devices. And it doesn't matter who these manufacturers are, because we put the Synology in transparent mode. Now, the Synology at that point will actually be on your untagged network. So whatever that is, that's the IP address its interface is going to have, but it will actually be able to touch all VLANs, all traffic, and do that content filtering across the VLANs. So, yeah, Cambium is good. I've got an Australian client that I talked to last night, and I am actually going to probably hook them up with Cambium. They're doing some like WeWork type things, the co-working spaces, and they've got some requirements. And right now, Grandstream doesn't have their switches out. Those are going to be in beta later this year. If Grandstream had the full stack, I would have recommended it for this particular situation. But because of the requirements, I'm going to get them hooked up directly with Cambium. So somebody says being on the bleeding edge of Wi-Fi standards is stupid generally. I mean, there's so many different things, right? So we were all excited about like Wi-Fi 6 and forgot that Wi-Fi 6E was coming out. And yeah, right now those two standards are kind of like, we'll just see, because I'm telling you, like, we're replacing networks, upgrading networks every day, and we're not putting Wi-Fi 6 in because it's not needed. So let's see. A lower power rack mount Untangle. Yeah, so Mike Wilson, if you need a low power rack mount appliance to run Untangle, check this out, and check out the link down in the description, because you save like a little bit of money, probably at least enough money in shipping. The regular price on this unit as configured, 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gig SSD, is $302, and if you use that link that I don't make any money off of, you get it for $289. So, and I don't know if shipping is free on these or not. Bob Carpenter asked earlier what the chipset is for these. I would have to look that up. I don't know off the top of my head, but it is compatible with BSD, because OpenSense and pfSense both see all of the network adapters immediately as soon as you've got everything installed. So, and I think I saw Tony from QuickTech was here earlier. Oh yeah, there he is, Tony. I don't see Joe from Cajoling. He maybe he's not going to join us this morning. Maybe he doesn't want to hear what I got to say later. Let's see. Samir says, I bought a house that was wired by AT&T in 1990 with Type B. Made my takeover very easy. Last owner just cut everything. That is why Type B all the way. Yeah, it is nice, especially if you have to repair a single end of a cable. The standards are super important there too. They're super important. They're super important because of how the cable's twisted and the whole physics behind it. I'm not a physicist, but especially if you know that you've got a standard and you have to re-terminate one end, then it takes the guesswork out of it. I want to thank Tony with QuickTech for being over. If you guys haven't seen Tony's channel over at QuickTech, Tony has probably the best video production. He's got a great technical skill set too, but like if you look at like our niche on YouTube, Tony probably has the best video production, best video editing. Like I don't know, his channel is growing. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So definitely go check out QuickTech Solutions. Also go check out Unky Joe. Unky Joe, I don't know if he's with us here this morning, and go check out Cajoling Tech. If you are interested in the cloud and all that stuff, Joe has videos on doing the AWS certifications. He also is a big, huge Blue Iris fan, which is kind of weird because he like lives in the cloud, but he still likes Blue Iris. So I don't know, maybe we're going to agree that hybrid is the way forward. But it'll be, go check him out. He's got some interesting stuff. He just ordered Starlink. And all around, every creator that I work with, just a great bunch of people. So back to the comments real quick. David Wright asks, is there an ecosystem that does what the Unify ecosystem does but costs a lot less? And somebody said that TP-Link has a similar to Unify system, about 1/5 to 1/3 of the cost, been wanting to try it. So TP-Link reached out and they asked me, hey, would you be interested in reviewing some of our products? And they gave me a list and they said, we'll send them to you, and then you got to send them back. And I said, okay, here's the deal, right? So you have one of the very few full stack. So when you look at like a Ubiquiti replacement, what you have to remember is, yes, we can get these replacements, but at what cost, right? So if you're looking in that same weight class, cost class, TP-Link is going to be right there for the full stack. So I said, if we like it, if it's usable, if it's deployable, and then my customers and my viewers start watching it, I would like to keep this equipment in the lab, and because then I can troubleshoot. So if you buy a TP-Link full stack and you've got this problem, you can send me your configs, I can load it, figure it out. That's what we do with every other piece of gear. It's not uncommon for me to ask, if anybody who's done business with me, you'll know that I will ask for configurations because we load it up here, we break it, we fix it, we figure out what's going on. It's really the most effective way for us to do that. It's also the most efficient and cost friendly for the client. So Unky Joe is in the house. Good morning, Unky Joe. Yeah, if I sit back here, how's the audio? Right? Unky Joe, do you remember a few years ago when somebody, like, I think you were maybe doing a live stream or something, but somebody made a comment about how close I sit to my monitor because I used to be like way up there like that. You remember that? Like, you pointed that out, which was hilarious. Yeah, Joe over at Cajoling Tech, I gained a pound last week. The last couple of weeks have not been stellar, but I don't think that I actually gained a pound. I just think that it's the natural process that needs to work out, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see. Yeah, Unky Joe is also one of my favorite YouTubers. So if you're on my YouTube channel and you go to, like, I've got like this thing on the, it's like not like featured channels, but I think I called it like Tech Crew or something like that. It's got links to Unky Joe. It's got links to QuickTech. It's got links to Cajoling. They're all fantastic guys. We're going to be expanding that circle, I think, a little bit this year. Tried to invite Cody from Mac Telecom. We were supposed to have a meeting. We did miss that, so maybe, hopefully, sometime later this year, Cody's going to be able to get in on the action, and we'll be able to collaborate. So, yeah, so we can't go by the Rat Pack because that was Sinatra and his gang. Although I think 2 of the group may be Italian and might tell us to forget about it. But we can't go by Brat Pack because none of us are, that was the Hollywood thing. So we got to come up with a name besides Tech Quartet that when people want to talk about us like we're a bunch of badasses, that we can say like there was something, because Tech Quartet, that's the light, airy, fun things, right? But like when we're down to business and like we mean it and like Tony's gonna come see you, we got to have a name for that. So, all right, so back to the comments. Klein Tools and Siemens cable testers. Turn down the volume input. Pump up the volume. So is it up, down, up, down? Engineer Austin in the house. Hello. All right, folks, hang with me for just a second. I'm going to open my volume mixer. And I'm going to try to turn down the mic. So even though I have moved back, yeah, so it's my built-in microphone. Let's see here. Oh, it won't let me turn it down. What about this? How is that? Is that any better? Did the sound get any better? Yeah, they're saying it's overdriven. Volume sounds perfect for me. I'm at the lowest volume setting on my phone and headset. Oh, wait a minute. Input. Yep, mic. Overmodulated still. Oh, this is a mother. Let's see here. I don't think there's a way for me to turn it down in YouTube. Why can't I turn down the mic settings? What is going on here? I love Windows. Let's see. Volume mixer. Okay, how is that? Is that better? No, I still think it's still showing that it's like... Oh, man, how do we get sidetracked on this? Yeah, it won't let me get into the mic settings. Oh, it sounds better now? Okay. I must have did something with the clicky clicks because I'm not using an external mic. So, all right, so somebody else said the Nat Pack. How about the Rack Pack? Rack Pack, Nat Pack, the AB team. I'm in on the Nat Pack as well. Can I do a poll? Can I do an impromptu poll here in the chats? I cannot. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to right now go over to YouTube on my phone, and I'm going to in my social feed, I'm going to create a poll real quick. And so you'll all have to look for this. So what I got to do is I go to my channel, your channel, and I am going to go to community, and I'm going to do this. Like, we are looking for a more... Okay, we're looking for a secondary name. Okay, I got to do it. Secondary name for the Tech Quartet, period. What do you think we should go with? Question mark. All right, so now what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make Google stop listening. And I'm going to make this live here in just a second. So all of you will be able to vote. We'll let this run for a week. So it's going to be the Nat Pack. Then we've got Rack Pack. Then we've got, helps if I can spell. Then what was the other one? We've got the Night Owls. The Night Owls. That one's probably already like copywritten. You trying to get us in jail? The AB team. And let's see what else. Yeah, I know, Patrick. It was weird that I couldn't turn down the mic gain. It's not driving that hard. It's cutting out. Just keep it there. Sound. Yeah, I know how to run Windows 10, folks. But for some reason the thing was grayed out to turn it down. I'm not sure what that is. Rack Pack is a product from Windy City Wire. So I'm going to take Rack Pack out of there because we don't need to get sued over having, Joe, I'm not going to use anything that has the name clan in it right now. I don't think. Not with everything that's going on, dude. We just need to stay away from anything that can be construed as slightly political because that's not why we're here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and post that. And so it is now live on the community page, so you can all go vote on that. I have a feeling that it's going to be a runaway for the Nat Pack. And I have a feeling that it's going to be totally runaway for Nat Pack. So what I should probably do is this is how my brain works. So you're getting to see a little bit of this. Thankfully, you can't see my screen and see the shame that is my domain registration. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to see if natpack.com is available. Natpack.com is already registered. Who is GoDaddy? The only thing that I like about GoDaddy, and the only reason I use GoDaddy is because they have a good Whois web-based, and that's the only reason. I could care less about anything else GoDaddy related. So somebody bought NatPack in 1996, natpack.com. Excuse me. And so the odds of me being able to get NatPack, but that's like where my mind goes, right? So like we came up with this cool thing. Now go buy the domain, start buying up the IP so that nobody else can do it. Which is why I bought all the domains related to my podcast that's going to be coming out. And then one day, this is just how crazy it is when you start buying domains. Like we were talking, a friend of mine, he's a musician, and we were just having a good time and everything. And it was around the beginning of the Rona, and we were talking about bleach and stuff like that. And no, it was before that. People were sick. Anyway, I was like, wouldn't it be, what do we need to do? Drink like a bleach cocktail. There was a whole bunch of silliness involved with this. We're like, we should start a joke band and call it Bleach Cocktail. So I went out and I bought the domains Bleach Cocktail. And so, I still have it. And now that I own the domain, I'll never let it go. So let's see. Over the comments, yeah, everybody's saying, yeah, no clan, right? Totally. Somebody says use a hyphen. I don't know. Did anybody go to natpack.com and see exactly what's out there? Let me see. Who knows? It could be something totally crazy. So if you go to natpack.com, it's some sort of a something or other in Rochester, New York, NPS. But it looks like they're like warehousing, and I guess if you need National Packaging Services. So for over 30 years, National Packaging, yeah, it's a packaging company. Like if I need 55-gallon drums, like this is the company to go to. Wow, check it out, natpack.com. Give them a good spike of traffic over there. Let their webmasters be like, oh man, people all of a sudden got interested in 55-gallon containers. So, all right. And so too, be on the lookout for the GrandStream UCM 6300 series videos. We're starting to deploy those. And so one of the other things, though, that I wanted to talk about today, so we talked about Protectly, if you're interested in this. We talked about how to use Synology inline to do your content filtering. Mars, is it Marses or Marses? I don't want to slaughter your name. I'm sorry about that. Says that we should be called the old fuddy-duddies, which is hilarious because I think Joe Trelli's actually younger than I am. Morning, Brian Murray. Somebody says the 10 base 2-pack. That's hilarious. Well, we don't want to get the name too long. So the videos that I've been working on and figuring out how I want to stage are these Cisco videos. So these are, I've got a few of these, and thanks goes out to the customer who is actually paying me to create the content. So the video itself is not sponsored, but they wanted me to use their time to create the videos on this. So this is an interesting product. You may or may not recognize this, but this is a Cisco AP. This is the CBW145AC. This thing is built, man. It's on the back. You've got 2 ports. You've got your PoE and then the pass-through port. And you can already kind of tell what this is, right? So if I flip it this way, look at that. So this is the Cisco in-wall. Now everybody's going, oh, geez, Cisco. But listen, Cisco has, and I'm not talking about that small business stuff, which, by the way, my small business person is like gone, like MIA, like can't reach them. We've deployed a few of those, but Cisco understands they have now, and they've got so much at risk, they have totally understood that they need to be pivoting and that they need to be actually competing against products like Ubiquiti. So now there are certain ways that you can manage entire fleets of Cisco without going down the Meraki path and without going down a super expensive path. And so that's what these videos are going to be about. So, this is, let's see if we can get this to focus. What's the focus on my hat? There it goes. Joe and I both have premature focus issues. Or post-mature focus issues? I don't know, but this is pretty sweet. This is the Cisco in-wall. And can anybody recommend a good outdoor managed switch, but I would like it in its own NEMA 3 box. Also need PoE and PoE Plus. Well, when you ask a question like that too, Gibby, you should always put a qualifier on there. I don't want these brands, right? So if there's a brand that you're trying to stay away from, we should also know that. The other AP, let me grab it. And I can't throw this cardboard away because I got to ship this back at some point. So this is the in-wall, which I'm going to do full videos on all these configurations, the whole kit and caboodle to get us up and going. And the tape on this one. Dale, sorry, the boxes may be slightly scuffed when you get them back. All right, here's the AP. And this is the CBW240AC. So you can see this. Nice Cisco logo there. Plenty of mounting options without the mounting plate, so it's nice and clean. And then, boy, what a challenge this is today. Not sure what that's all about, but then all of our ports along here. So you're going to see this access point. And yes, these I've got to mix this and the QNAP and the Synology videos kind of like all together. But they are coming. All right, then the next thing that we've got from Cisco World here, which, by the way, this is not a Cisco-sponsored video. Like I said, customer sent these over so that we can do configuration videos. The one thing that I find is hilarious, well, it's not hilarious. This is kind of like how business works, right? So you get a vendor, and they get popular, and then they ignore what customers really want. And then the competition is like, we could pull a lot of those customers by giving those customers exactly what they want. So all the competition starts giving customers exactly what they want. And then what happens is the company goes, oh boy, we're in trouble. Let's start introducing these features and stuff. It's too late. By that time, it is, I'm going to tell you, it's likely almost really too late. And we're seeing that right now with a couple vendors. I've got more. I mean, you wouldn't even believe the amount of Ubiquiti gear that people are dumping. So there's going to be a huge used market for that stuff here pretty soon. and I don't know that I'm going to be pushing it. I mean, I'll help people if they want help selling it. I'll definitely help them with that. But all right, so this next piece that we've got is the Cisco. Maybe I should take my hat off. This is a ISR 1100 series. I was looking right at the model number on the back. This is the C11118P. And so on the back, you're going to see we've got 8 PoE ports. We've got our WAN ports. We've got an SFP port. We've got a USB port. We've got a console port, Kensington lock, and a ground lug. So we're going to do this. So this will get configured. This will get, man, we're on the struggle bus today. There we go. So this will get configured along with the APs. And I already do have the Aruba. I don't even consider the Aruba Instant On APs to be a competitor because I can't do VLANs. Like, it is so feature incomplete on the Instant On those APs that they have a very specific use case. Now, Aruba is supposed to be sending me their Wi-Fi 6 APs. I was supposed to have it a while ago, and my guy just emailed me. He's like, hey, did you ever get that? I didn't see a video. And I'm like, no, it never showed up. So they're sending that out. No, Cisco, if you check out the new stuff, Cisco realized that their pricing is part of the problem, and they are addressing it. In the prosumer line, they are definitely addressing it. So at one point, I would have agreed with that statement. But like I said, once somebody builds a tribe, and then they basically tell the tribe to go pound sand, these other companies are noticing that. And, Cambium Networks is a fantastic provider of hardware software. I've got their Wi-Fi 6 AP here. You're going to see we've got the CN Vision stuff. It's just about time. And I've got their switches. You're going to see their switch stack. Their stuff is awesome. 5-year warranty. And it is absolutely fantastic. So this is the Cisco Business 350 series of switch. And you're going to see a video on this as well. But what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up putting all of this gear together, and we're going to be managing it from a central location. So, yeah, I'm super excited, Gibby, about the Cambium videos as well. Brian Murray says, looking forward to swapping out Unify for Cisco. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going the other way. And Alonzo says he has the Cisco 1111, the throughput rated at 350 meg. So we'll have to, I don't have 350 meg internet, so we'll have to figure out another way to test that. Yeah, the mid to high range of Netgear isn't bad either. And anybody who tells you that Netgear doesn't make a good switch, they're like anybody else. Ask 103 IT people what their opinion is. You're going to get 103 different opinions. So, all right, back to the comments. Cisco. So the Cisco stuff is still solid. Now, here's the thing: like, every manufacturer has firmware bugs. Every single one. There is not a manufacturer that does not have a firmware bug. I mean, it happens. I mean, these manufacturers are moving at a breakneck speed these days. Here's something scary. So yesterday we went to order a couple of laptops from Lenovo, and Lenovo for this particular laptop said from them it's a 5-week shipping. So there must be some sort of either they've got so many orders or there's a delay on parts. We know right now there's a chip shortage, and so we're dealing with that. The other thing is that we tried to order a couple of smaller Synology units, two disk, and they're out, and there's no ETA for delivery. So we're starting to see some some issues with supply chain again, and it is what it is. I mean, as technology use has exploded, the problems that come with that, with that boom, shortages and things like that, it's all going hand in hand. And yeah, so somebody says, I think the issue is people don't know what to get when they go to Netgear. So Netgear has a huge selection of switches and a huge selection of APs. And yes, and there's a lot of on-prem, there's a lot of cloud stuff. And so the question does become really what do I need? And that's absolutely it. So Barry Arendt is in the comments, and Barry is a Lenovo reseller. And so when they gave us that 5-week shipping time, we reached out to Barry to see if he might be able to source that laptop at the same price, because the laptop's like $1,200 off because of their 40% off sale. So Barry said he's going to see what he can do for us. Yeah, so I do like the higher end Netgear switches. OSPF is Netgear. So in Netgear, OSPF is dead simple. So Bob Carpenter says supply chain is like 18 months in advance. A year ago, everyone flipped from roughly 50-50 notebooks to desktops because of the Rona. We're still recovering worldwide due to shortages. So Bob Carpenter is a friend and a customer, and just said that, Bob, are you speaking about Lenovo? So he might be speaking about how Lenovo is actually recovering. So, and Lenovo's had some pretty crazy specials on some deals as well. So Unky Joe, if you're still in the comments, or if you're still here and you're still in there, Unky Joe, are you having a live stream today? I know that later after this live stream, I know that Joe and Tony are going live simultaneously on Cajoling Tech and on Quick Tech. So if you're interested in what they're going to have to say, I don't know that I'm going to be at that live stream. I would like to watch it. I'm probably going to have to watch the replay just because of my schedule, because we've got this live stream, and then I have basically about 30 minutes to well, obviously I'm not going to shave. I might trim it up, but I need to take a shower, brush my teeth, do all those things that you're supposed to do. And then I have a call about a phone system. So we shipped a phone system. It's on site. Got to talk to the boots on the ground folks and get things plugged in where they're supposed to, so that we can start doing a cutover, because we're porting from I can't remember the ISP. It might be Spectrum. We're going to port from Spectrum over to Telnex. And so we've got to make sure that everything is ready to go for that. So Unky Joe is in the house, and Unky Joe, I can see your chat. So I'll let people know that over on Unky Joe's channel at 1 p.m., that's probably Central if I had to guess, he is going to have a live stream. So you'll have to check out the rest of the Tech Quartet. Let's see. Let's go real quick. I'm going to go over to the community. Y'all are out here voting. There's 8 votes. There's only 8 votes on the name, but NatPack is so far the 88% runaway winner. So to my Tech Quartet friends, we might be looking at the NatPack. And the NatPack is that group I think that we can expand, right? Because Quartet 4, NatPack, we can really expand that NatPack and start bringing some other people into the live streams and really reaching out. And that's something else that I really wanted to talk about. So, there's a lot of people that are quick to judge creators. There are a lot of people that are quick to put comments on there to demean people. They're the thumbs downs, whatever. That is what it is. You're going to do that. You're going to do that. I would wish if people were going to give you a thumbs down that they would tell you in the comments why they're giving you a thumbs down. Because if it's something in the way that we're creating our content, if it's something in the delivery, if it's my beard, if whatever it is, right? Unless you know that there's a problem, then you can't address it. So if people are just giving thumbs down and they're not giving any explanation in the comments, whatever, maybe you just don't like me. I've noticed that when I put videos out, that even before a video could possibly actually be watched, that I have a thumbs down. And Joe over at Cajoling has mentioned that as well. So it's either a bot that somebody has to give you a thumbs down, or somebody has subscribed to you literally to just give you a thumbs down, which, whatever. But, the hardest thing about getting started in anything is, or the hardest thing about doing something like YouTube or any other project is actually getting started. And once you get on social media and you have a presence out there, you got to kind of have a thick skin. And people are brutal. People, I'm sure that what's going to happen with this live stream, and you can watch the comments, is that whole audio thing that we had, there are going to be people that complain about that. So they're going to come here, they're going to suck up the free knowledge, but they're still going to find something to complain about. Go back and look at all of my videos. Go look, you're going to get people that complain about the stupidest stuff, but they're still there taking up your resources, taking up YouTube's resources, and sucking the system dry. And people don't understand, those people that scrutinize maybe what Tony looks like, or if people are like, well, you're lighting, okay, well, that's cool, but did you get the main technical content, right? Here's one thing that I'm going to tell you, and if you're watching this live now or you're watching this after the recording, if you think that you're going to harass me or harass another content creator for being involved in the community, so like I could do a whole live stream just talking about my friends, IT Guy Rye, my buddy Kelvin, who's a location scout for HBO, but also runs a very successful podcast and website for movie review. Whether it's Joe over at Cajoling, whether it's Unky Joe, whether it's Tony over at Quick Tech, if you think that you are going to shame me into not working with other content creators, no matter how big, how small their channels are, then what I want you to do, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this in a recording, is I want you to go unsubscribe, because part of this is creating a community, and creating a community of people that can depend on each other. And you can ask how many people email me and ask for free support or ask for free advice, and I try to reply to every email. I may miss a couple, but I reply. Even to the people that don't want to pay for consulting, they get a reply one way or another. We are building a community. We are building a way to depend on one another to move the ball forward. And if you don't want that sense of community, if you can't stand me talking about other creators, working with other creators, just leave, because I don't want you here, because it is a huge part of not only my business, but my entire lifestyle and how we are. We are people who share. We are people who want to build each other up. That's why we give so much of this content away. So what's wrong with me talking about another creator? I'm not worried about another creator, but what's wrong with me? Why are you going to criticize me for not constantly, or even if I'm talking about Joe this, Joe that, Tony this, Tony that, IT Guy Rye this, IT Guy Rye that, Unky Joe, Tony, if you don't want that sense of community, I don't want you here, so feel free to unsubscribe. Maybe I'll lose a couple hundred subscribers from that. But the point is, we're building a community. We can only sit here and say, oh, there's 1 million unfilled IT positions for so long. We are providing the resources, the lenses for you to look through to see if you can build that capacity. And I will forever be a person who contributes in the community. I still contribute over at the Ubiquity community. I'm on several forums. I'm on several groups. I talk to the Tech Quartet guys and other creators often. So that's what I got to say about that. And I'm going to continue to do that. And like I said, if you don't want that sense of community, that's fine. You can unsubscribe, soak up the free content, because the content's out there to make you better, or at least be able to help you look outside of your lens and view things in another light. And so that's kind of my rant on that, because I just think the bullying that happens and the BS that happens to content creators, it's hard enough to put one of these videos together. It's hard enough to sit here and go live, watch the comments, listen to it. It's not easy being a content creator. And the bigger your channel gets, the harder it gets. And there's like this period, like when you're first starting, people are super critical of you, and then you kind of get away from it. I still read the comments. I still have comments that bother me. But this is how it is. And so I'll just reiterate it one more time. If it, you can unsubscribe, you can, if you give a thumbs down, supposedly the thumbs down still actually helps the algorithm, because it's, I guess, any press is good press. But if you don't like the community aspect of what we're doing, that's fine. You can be a lone wolf and borrow all the knowledge that we're putting out there, because we're not going to restrict it. But it is what it is. All right, I'm sorry for the rant on that, but I've been thinking about that for a couple days, and it's really bothered me, and I really needed to put it out there so that people could hear it. Yeah, I don't care where you live. I don't care about your race, religion, your creed, whatever. As long as you're a good person, you're participating, you're moving the ball forward, you should be able to pull yourself up using knowledge, using education that's free to, not all education is going to be free, but there's enough free education out there that you can get started, get the ball rolling. You can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and then pay it forward. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's why we want to share so much knowledge. All right, back to the comments here. Unky Joe wants me to check my email, so I'll have to do that at some point. And I really do, appreciate I appreciate each and every one of you, because if you weren't here, if you weren't watching the content, if you weren't interacting with us, there's no reason for us to be here. So you should really be giving yourselves a round of applause, and you should be thanking yourself for being part of a positive community that's going to build people up and empower people without them depending on anyone else. Because this is the same thing I tell people all the time. If you work for a company and they're going to pay for training, you take every bit of training. If they're going to pay for a degree, whether you think a degree is worthless, if they're paying for it, you take every bit of knowledge, every bit of everything that a company will give you, because they can't take this away from you. They can fire you, they can hurt your feelings, but they cannot take what is in your head. What you have learned and what you can use going forward, they cannot take it from you. Okay, so yeah, the audio is distorting. Yeah, I got to figure that out for for next week. I'm so sorry about that. I was like, I'm not going to plug in the external mic. We're just going to go like this, and then it's everything else, So Robert Coleman says, thumbs down for a rant. And that's fine, Robert Coleman. I don't know if you're joking or what, and I haven't seen any follow-up comments. But, yeah, you can go ahead and hit the road, and, if you're going to be that negative person. So the other thing is, too, there's a flip side of that on the business side, is when you get to a point, because we will spend 15, 20, 30 minutes responding back and forth in an email to somebody trying to help them out without charging them. But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, like we really have to look at this. And once we do that, we have to charge for that. And then people get pissed. And it's like, you know what? Like, what is your time worth? Like I can't give you my business consulting time. You have to protect your time, because you should not be working you should be able to, if you're self-employed, you can set your own hours and things like that, but you shouldn't have to work all the time. You have to recreate too. I mean, you have to. It's healthy. Yeah, I don't think any of the bigger creators are honestly probably interested in working with somebody like me, because my whole way that I approach things is totally different. You notice that I don't do that many unboxings. I'm not really an unboxing kind of person. I'll show you that, but I'm not like that unboxing person. I'm like in the weeds person, and that's kind of what Ubiquity told me when they kind of like distanced themselves from the social media side. Like I did a couple UDM videos this week, and they didn't like it, they didn't retweet it, and so it is what it is. But I was pretty critical of them, right? In a few videos, I was pretty critical of that and just giving my thoughts on it. So I'm sure that they've just temporarily distanced themselves, and you see that happen. Let's see. Unky Joe says, I got the name registered. So I'll have to see what he is talking about there. Bob, thanks for your effort, your energy, and your community. Yeah, thank you, Bob. Bob has been with me for a long time, almost since the beginning, I think. All right, let's see. Can anybody recommend a 4K outdoor camera with zoom and OnVIF? I've been using Reolink. So Reolink is decent. Check out Amcrest and check out Access. And my wife is in the house, and she got some sort of an emoji there, some like a peace sign or a 3 fingers. Not sure what that is. Super Marula, I think I said that correctly. Hopefully I said that correctly. Says misery loves company. Yeah, that's why people become SharePoint administrators. They do. I'm just kidding. But SharePoint administrators. Oof. Let's see here. You can't force me to unsubscribe. Nice try. Yeah, that's funny. And I can't remember how to pronounce. Is it Zaphael? But you've been with us for a long time too. So yeah, definitely thank you for being here. And that's the thing too. The people that are the most quick to judge these creators are the last people that will ever get in front of this camera and put their feelings and their stuff out there. And I think the way that the community interacts with creators, that's why you see people go through this transition about, okay, now I need to get a teleprompter. I need to do X, Y, and Z because I need to look. This is how I'm always going to be. Like I've got some B-roll that's out there and I uploaded it to YouTube because I wanted to see how it looked. Now, back when the Rona was first starting, back in 2020, I was messing with my camera settings. That's when I had started talking to Joe over at Cajoling, and he's giving me some hints, tips, lighting, all this stuff. So I'm working on this, trying to get it going. And I have a series of videos that I started called Grand Stream Office Solutions Start to Finish, or some, cut up of that. And I probably have a dozen takes that are unlisted, and I'm probably not going to make them public because there are a few of them where I had a teleprompter set up. So I had the camera here, and then behind the camera, which would be over there where you can't see, had a laptop running teleprompter software, and I looked like a Chuck E. Cheese robot, like that purple thing that's on stage playing the thing. Like I was so robotic, and I hated the way I looked, hated the way I sounded. So for me, the way going forward is to use those custom printed note cards that I've got, or if I need to stay on track, I'm going to use my Remarkable, which I'm going to do a video on this too. I use this every day at this point, every day. Personal notes, customer notes. I use this every day. This thing, thank you, my dear lady, Samantha, if you're still on the live stream. This is probably one of the better Christmas presents that I've ever received. It's made a huge difference. And I'm going to start really showing that thing off to other folks too. But I got all excited here and forgot where I was at. But yeah, but creating this content is very very difficult and not easy. And so I'm not going to use a teleprompter. This you got me. This is how it's going to be. Yeah, Access is great. Yeah, Unky Joe says, I quit trying to be all things as well. Just do videos on what interests me, and hopefully it resonates with others. Yeah, that's kind of where you're at. You got to do what makes you sometimes. Just bought a E1 Zoom. Audio is terrible. Not sure what piece of hardware that is. What if my wife has been thumbs downing me? That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? But, that's funny. No, my wife wouldn't do that. I used to be like before I hit 5,000 subscribers, I obsessed over every number. You've got 4,999. Oh, almost to 5,000. Almost to 5,000. We got to do something special and stupid, like put a router in homemade liquid nitrogen with dry ice. Like if you go back and look at that video, how dumb that was. But it was fun, and I still want to do the liquid nitrogen thing. I've got the doer. I just literally have not made time to go get liquid nitrogen. I wanted to do this video, and Fiber Ninja and I had been talking, and I don't know where that dude is. He's MIA, but he's got a good channel. And I was like, dude, you should freeze an Ethernet cable and see if the packets go faster. And I thought he was going to do it, but I think I want to do that, right? I want to take an Ethernet cable, do a speed test, dip that in liquid nitrogen, and see if the packets go faster. Wouldn't that be hilarious if they did? But I don't think they can. I think we're trying to rewrite the laws of physics, and I just don't think that that's going to work. So Hike Vision does make some good cameras. Anytime we're in a deployment with Hike Vision, though, we set up firewall rules to keep those cameras from calling home. A Vigilon is supposed to be good. I haven't messed with any Vigilon cameras, but my understanding is that a Vigilon is the closest competitor that Axis actually has. Which, speaking of, so in Illinois, and I'm not going to get political, I'm just going to give you some facts about what has happened and where we're at. So in the state of Illinois, they passed a law enforcement reform bill. And now all law enforcement agencies will have to have body cams. Now, before you get, like I said, this is not going to get political. I'm giving you an opinion on this, and then I'm walking away from it. I believe that police should wear body cams, and this is not a statement against police or not a statement for police. But the reason that police should have body cams is because most of the time when there's an incident, first of all, we do. Police are like any other government employees. There needs to be accountability. But second of all, anytime we've seen anything in the news, we usually get like a shaky, half crazy cell phone footage, right? So not only is the body cam going to protect the public, the body cam is going to protect the officer. So now there is some actual real teeth being put into and some accountability into how things actually happen, how they transpire. For me, I think it's great. But Axis, we're going to be demoing the Axis body cams for an agency next week, and I think it's definitely going to be better than the Taser or the Axon that's out there, because Taser is killing their on-prem solution and trying to move everybody to the cloud. And wait till you see the price tag on that. It is not going to be cheap. And so what happens is these law enforcement agencies get locked into Taser, and then if you try to leave, you have problems getting your footage, you have all these problems. So on-prem body cams will be something that I will always push for on-prem, and Axis has a total on-prem solution. They also have a case management solution that we're going to look at, which ties in your tickets with your body cam and all this stuff and creates an environment of accountability. So the E1 Zoom is the lower end 5K PTZ Real Link camera. Gotcha. JC Ogby. Real quick, I just read my wife's comment, so we're going to circle back to that here in just a second. I'm not sure which pretty princess she's talking about. But Firewalla, I reached out to them because I would like to see Firewalla. I'd like to get my hands on one, but they are expensive. And so I'd like to just get a demo unit that they would ship here and then ship back. If you've got a contact, let me know. Patrick says, always look forward. Hey, man, I appreciate you for being here from before I had audio. Fiber Ninja, he was solid. I don't know what happened to him. We talked on the phone, and I hope he's still with us. I really do. Somebody says freeze Ethernet cable is something Theo Joe would do. I don't know who Theo Joe is. And Axis cameras are amazing, and I've got slated. We started an Axis ecosystem series, and then got diverted onto something else. But I've got all the gear here, all the audio, because you can really tie audio in with the Axis ecosystem, and it does amazing things. So I am going to say hi to my pretty princess, and I don't know if that's my daughter or if they're up there giving each other a hard time, or who the pretty princess is, but hi to my pretty princess. So now my wife will not thumbs down the video because I said hi to my pretty princess. Back to the comments. Let's see. Fiber Ninja got trapped in a wiring closet. They still haven't located him yet. Yeah, he's a good guy. So Unky Joe bought us the NatPack domain. So Tony and Joe, if you're still on here, I don't know if you're still on here or not, if you've hopped off to get ready for your live stream. But Bob Carpenter wants to know if he can change his vote on the community to the pretty princess pack. That is hilarious. Don't give me any ideas. I'll end up owning prettyprincess.com. It may already exist, but who knows what kind of stuff people will put on prettyprincess.com. That is awesome that Unky Joe bought that domain. That is fantastic. Now we're going to have to figure out what to do with it. So my challenge to Unky Joe, my challenge to Joe and Tony, any other creator that's here, if you're a creator and you're here and you want to join us and you want to get into this community and start getting everything out there, reach out to one of us, because we're going to start making a list of those creators that when we put it together. And so Joe over at Cajoling, like whatever the magic is you're doing, like we need to figure out how many people that'll scale to. Can we get 10 people on a live stream? You know, we got to figure that all out. So that's my challenge to Joe, is to see if we can have 10 creators duking it out in a live stream all at the same time. So we talked about Protectly. We talked about Synology with any of those things. I'm just trying to think, because the Cisco videos and the Synology and the QNAP, that's all there. The Grandstream videos are coming. The thing is, you know, it's the time. It's time, but they are there. I promise the videos are coming. We did the Cisco stuff. I think we talked about all the things so far. So you probably know where this is going. We've been streaming a little bit over an hour. Make sure that you are going to go watch not only Unky Joe's live stream today, but make sure you're going to go watch Joe and Tony's live stream. It'll be simulcast to their channels. And then Tech Quartet, I think we need to have a call this week, and we need to put something on the calendar, a definitive date. And I think that we need to go ahead and put a Tech Quartet, or it looks like we're going to end up being known as the Rack Pack. We need to challenge ourselves to reach out to those creators. And I still want to do Tech Quartet stuff with the four of us, because we have such a good time, and sometimes just having a good time is just having a good time at face value. But then growing that Rack Pack group and bringing other people into the conversation. So we need to get, I know Joe and Tony, you spend more time right now talking, and all of our schedules are crazy, but Unky Joe, all of us, we need to get together and we need to get this nailed down. So that's where it's at for now. I want to thank you all for being here. Affiliate links, contact links, that's all down in the description if you need any of that stuff. I want to really thank you all for being here. And as always, I will see you in the next video.